Welcome to Cinema Sound Off. This week we checked out the incredible Burt Wonderstone. With me as always is Sebastian the Crab and Tyler the Fag.
Hey.
So Wonderstone runs at 100 minutes solid. Starting off, what'd you guys think about it?
You know, I actually really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't think the commercials did it justice. I liked it.
I thought it was good. I mean, it had some originality to it, which you don't find in most movies nowadays.
Like, I was telling Jake on the way out of the theater, like, this is, like, one of the better comedies I've seen lately, because usually I go to a comedy movie and I'm like, meh, afterward, but after this one I was like, hey, I enjoyed that.
See, I was thinking about that too. I mean, I'd honestly say this is the best comedy I've seen since like the 5-Year Engagement, which I'm like the only person who likes that movie. And even that movie was like good, but I feel like this is a great comedy.
Yeah, I can't even think of the last, like, comedy I was like, hey, I really enjoyed that.
It was the first Ace Ventura. Let's be honest here.
It was Liar Liar.
So, let's just dive in real quick. Steve Carell stars in it. Steve Carell he's always pretty funny.
I like Steve
and
Carell.
I feel like this was like perfect for him.
Him and his nose star in it.
Yeah, that's two separate credits.
Yeah.
He walks into a room. His nose walks into a room, and he walks into it 2 minutes
Steve
later.
Carell's nose played by Steve Carell.
So Steve Carell was pretty great, and Steve Buscemi.
I like Steve
I like Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi.
I just realized both their names are Steve. It threw me off. And then Jim Carrey's character's name is Steve.
Steve,
We have
Steve,
a
and Steve.
trifecta of Steves. It's the Steve Force or the Tri-Steve. I don't know which one's better.
See, I was actually thinking about this, how like Steve Buscemi was in like all of those Adam Sandler comedies,
Yeah, I
and
was
now
thinking
like
that
kind of
too.
made sense why he was in comedies, because he's like just can be as funny as he is dramatic, you know.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. I liked him.
Now let's talk about Jim Carrey, who was pretty fucking crazy, to be honest. And he was like the bad guy,
He like
the
plays the modern,
antagonist.
like, what's his face, like Chris Angel type magician who's like a threat to old school magicians, and I thought it was a pretty interesting premise.
Right.
I was a little surprised because just, looking at Jim Carrey and everything that he's done before, I was kind of surprised he was the bad guy, but you can't expect him to play the same
Dude, he
role
was
over
Count
and over.
Olaf. He was in that movie everybody
Okay.
saw.
She's an unfortunate event. Anyways, Steve Carell was pretty funny. I like Steve Buscemi's character. It had a few other actors in there that I don't know. I couldn't say the name.
Even like Olivia Wilde is like the main female role. And I thought she was pretty funny. I liked her.
Yeah, which is kind of like rare. Like you have a comedy centered around like males, and then you have like this female who's just as funny. It's,
Yeah, like, I liked her a lot. Like,
wait a minute. This isn't how movies are, you know.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It did.
So I'm gonna bring up the writing here, because I feel like this movie would take you one way, then just flip you around, which is kind of what a good movie does. You guys feel like that?
Yeah.
Like you think it's gonna go down one
It's
path,
like, yeah,
and then you're like,
oh,
I turn around and go somewhere else.
Yeah,
It's
Steve
not
Carell's gonna team up
predictable.
with Olivia Wilde. Yay! No, he's not. No, he's gonna team up with Alan Arkin. No, he's not. He's going to.
You do whatever, and
we won't say.
You don't know what happens. It's good.
You won't see it
Go
coming.
see the
It's
movie.
a mystery. Oh,
It's a comystery.
Stop.
Sounds
Just stop
funny
there.
enough.
that sounds kind of
just-
rapey,
Here
Tyler.
is cinnamon sound off.
All right, guys. Well, let's talk about the special effects. I saw a couple of shots that were kind of a little bit, on the
CGI side.
CGI side.
It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're dealing with magic, and they had like one continuous scene that I don't know how the crap they did it.
I was under the impression the magic was real, so don't.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a hairy wizard.
I feel the same. Like, yeah, there was stuff that I was like, okay, yeah, this is probably real, and then other things I was like, okay,
Yeah.
CGI dove pops up without bones, but
I like how some things they kind of just gave answers to, like the handkerchief trick with the rubber
Or
finger.
car hook.
It's in like the first 10 minutes, so no spoilers there, but it kind of.
They revealed some tricks. Magicians everywhere are pissed.
the Magicians Alliance from Arrested Development,
Who was
they're
that?
never performing
Joe
again.
will be very
David
unsatisfied.
Blaine was in it, right? Was that David Blaine or
David Copperfield made a
whatever,
cameo.
one of them. He made a cameo.
Yeah, that
Helps
was
make
cool.
the movie legit.
The dude who made the freaking Statue of Liberty disappear. Or was that David Blaine? That was Copperfield, right?
I don't know.
He made the
I'm not
freaking
even-
Statue of Liberty disappear. That was awesome. You don't hear about that?
No.
I heard about it, but it was one of the Davids, and I can't remember.
Either Blaine or Copperfield made it disappear, and it was freaking awesome.
All right, guys. Does this movie remind you of anything? This is a movie about magicians, which sounds pretty original.
It doesn't remind me of anything, and I think that's why I liked it.
It's kind of like a
It's
curveball
not.
comedy.
It's not The Hangover 3.
Speaking of which, no, like I said, I thought it was pretty original. So I mean, I can't think of any other movies about magicians besides maybe like Lord of the Rings, but that's Wizard.
Same.
Harry Potter series. I mean,
They're exactly the same. Harry Potter and this movie, it's similar.
I mean, like, the first 10 minutes, he kind of reminded me of The Prestige a little bit, the Chris Nolan movie about magicians in the 1800s. But then after I, like, got past it, and I was like, okay, let's see what this movie can do. I love Jim Carrey. Let's see how funny he can be.
I thought it was going to be kind of clicky, like you've seen Click, right? Like, it's kind of sad, but, like, then they still keep it lighthearted.
It was like a lighthearted, sad clown movie, you know?
Bruce Almighty was like that, too.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, this movie's freaking hilarious, and then, like, there's a part in it where you're just like,
my feels
sobbing.
Friendly
But
pat on the
no,
back.
it would kind of like it'd have its little sad moments, but it never. I always thought that kind of ruined a comedy, you know, like
The sad moments.
if we would have like a sad part that was like actually legitimately sad, that it didn't ruin the movie, but it kind of killed the vibe.
It's like
you know?
intersecting like Old Yeller with like Dumb and Dumber. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber never has a sad part, and it's
Right.
just funny through and through, and that's what's great about it.
Even when they're, like, breaking up as friends, that's still hilarious,
Funny,
you know?
right?
Yeah,
'Cause
and then
he's
you
just
know it's
driving
gonna
away
end
on
up
the
well, and it does.
But like, for example, like I said, Bruce Almighty, it's a great movie, but it's really funny, but it gets sad, so it kind of takes away from the, you know, just the comedy aspect, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you,
This
bro.
movie didn't really do that much.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Alright, what was I going to bring up?
Our
Storyline?
Seb?
Our
Plot, storyline.
Plot,
out of
storyline.
tens.
Okay, Billy Wilder once said that a comedy really has to snowball. It has to get funnier and funnier throughout the entire movie, and then at the end, it's just like this huge laugh. How did you guys feel about that? Did this movie succeed in doing that?
I think it succeeded in getting like more outlandish because like they're in trick. I'm not gonna like tell you, but it's just like ridiculous and like the premise of it's pretty hilarious. If you really think about it, you're like, wow, that would be like
That'd be like a felony.
Exactly. Like it's like when you sit and think like, wow, that's pretty funny. You know, it's not like gut busting hilarious. You know, but it's like, oh, it's pretty clever, and it like built up over these other little funny things to like this huge outlandish thing.
Right on, man.
In I guess I don't know if this is exactly what you're talking about, but the ending was like one of the funniest parts of the whole movie. Like you know, after the big finale, I guess you could say, the ending where it's showing it. You guys will know what we're talking about when you see it. It's really freaking hilarious. You'll see.
What about this? Was this movie appropriate for kids? I mean, it's PG-13. There was one F-bomb. There's some kind of tricky
S-bombs. There's no sexuality
stuff.
really.
There's a small amount of sexuality, but nothing past.
There's a small amount of
second
gore.
base. What?
Jim Carrey?
Oh yeah,
It's not bad though. But
That could be frightening. For a young
it was
kid,
kind
yeah.
of suspenseful
Yeah.
for a PG-13.
yeah, and then so not that much language, no like super sexual parts. You know, nothing I wouldn't.
It wasn't Hostel Part 3 by any means. Just
And the sexual
for-
part was funny too, so it lightened the
yeah,
mood.
with
So.
Steve Carell's nose again.
I'm not sure which seat that have him or his nose in it. I don't recall.
So how much did we pay for tickets? I think I paid $10.50 for mine.
Yeah,
Was
we
it
went
worth
to the
the
more
ticket?
expensive theater this week.
Yes.
But I would say it was worth ticket price. I enjoyed it. Like even the expensive
man.
ticket, not even our like cheapy like Century tickets.
I feel
know,
the same, man.
If a marquee, maybe. I'm just joking. It was worth the ticket price. It gave me. I got a kick out of it.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the better movies we've seen.
I think that might be like my favorite movie we have seen since we
Well,
I think it
started
might be
this.
mine too, to be honest.
I don't think I wouldn't compare like action to comedy to whatever the hell freaking that suspense one with Jude
Side
Law.
effects.
Yeah, you can't really compare Side Effects to Burt Wonderstone, to be fair, you know.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it was good.
Okay, so this movie is a pretty hardcore comedy by my standards. Would you say that somebody outside of the genre would...
You mean
Someone else...
people who
outside
don't
of-
have a sense of humor?
would people who don't have a sense of humor enjoy this movie? Would they just be like, oh my god, he's losing his job?
Probably not. I don't know. Like I don't know many people without a sense of humor because I think they're horrible human beings. But I don't know. Like it's fun if you like comedy. If you don't like comedy, you're a loser and probably don't go to movies anyway. So I don't know.
Maybe you just
Well,
take
if you
life
don't like
seriously.
movies, you will not like this movie because,
It's a
once
movie.
again, it's a movie.
Yeah. I don't know. If you
you're
don't
not-
like
if you're not
comedies, you
into
probably won't
comedies-
like it.
If you're not into comedies, it's nothing that's like really entertaining per se. You know, I mean, it hung on comedy because it's a comedy.
And the magic parts are like, like
the magic parts are kind of cool.
But they're like it's in the movies, and they can do anything in movies, so it's not like you're seeing it on a stage like, oh my god, how'd they do that? You're like, well, they cut the camera.
But that's kind of like one of the. I think they showed like him learning magic. I think that's kind of why they had that in there to kind of allude to the illusion.
Yeah. Allude to the illusion.
Well said, isn't it?
We went to school.
All right, guys, we are pretty much out of time here, so let's wrap things up. Tyler, what did you think about The Incredible Burt Wonderstone?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was probably, like, the best comedy I've seen in theaters, like, since, like, I don't know, like, the last good Jim Carrey movie, or whatever that might be.
Bruce Almighty?
Yeah, but I usually go to comedy movies, and I'm pretty disappointed when leaving, but this one I wasn't disappointed. I was pretty happy, so I would give it a good 9 or 9.5 out of 10.
9 or...
Yeah, like based off like comedy scales, it was pretty up there for me.
All right, Sebastian the Crab.
You guys kind of took me off a dry streak of movies in theaters, so I can't say like compared to the last comedy I saw in theater. The last one I can really remember was like The Cat in the Hat, which was 2004. I don't know.
Did you just like not go to comedy?
I did, but nothing. The last one I really remember was my freshman year of high school. I went and saw Superbad, which is like the funniest movie the first time you see it, but it's got one good go.
Anyway,
like,
back on subject though. Out of 10, I'd say it's a good 7.5.
Good 7.5.
Close, break in between that and an 8. You know how specific I am. I would say, yeah, go see it. It's funny.
There you have it.
I don't know what else to say.
And Seb's done.
That'll do, Seb. That'll do. All right, so closing up, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. I'd suggest you guys check out this movie. I mean, it's pretty funny. Next week, we're going to go see Gerard Butler beat up some terrorists.
And Two-Face be president. Don't forget about that.
Olympus
and God
has fallen.
Is in it.
Olympus Has Fallen with Morgan Freeman. I know that wasn't good.
The March of the Penguins.
Who can do Morgan Freeman besides him, honestly?
Morgan Freeman.
God.
You got me there.
All right, signing off. This is Cinnamon Sound of... Oh, wait, that's tomorrow. Have a nice night, you guys.